Walter's got the fabric stash. Quilts are flying, colors splash. Pins and patches, stories grow. Stitching secrets we all know. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square. Buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses lined so neat. Friendship's quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square. Buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses lined so neat. Friendship's quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Our Stitch by stitch they weave the tale. A patchwork life where laughs prevail. Patterns clash, but who can tell? Quilted chaos suits us well. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around.
Hello, everybody. It's Stephen and Walter, and we're live. As opposed to the alternate. What?
I think.
You think? Yeah, well, whatever. We went for a long walk today, almost 5 kilometers. Went down to the Big Pussy to see what they had on sale. Nothing. Awful lot of people in their shopping there, though. And their deals aren't that great anymore, like anything around. But anyways, we've got lots of people joining us today. And I'm just checking my monitor. Yes, we're working fine. So, and I remembered to turn the mute to on. Okay, so let's see who's joining us. We have got Barb is number one. And Dan is here, but not here. Greetings, Saul. I'm here in spirit, but not in person today. I'm attending my granddaughter's dance competition here in Regina. Okay, she's here in spirit.
So she logged in, but she's not actually there.
I guess. Okay.
Is she always any?
I don't know. Is Dana anywhere? I mean, she comes and she goes. She's like a spirit. I mean, I don't know. That's Dana. Caroline is here. And Inez and Charlotte. She's working on my newest pattern. Oh, great, Charlotte. Well, you'll have to send me a picture of it when you get it done. Hopefully you won't have any problems with it. Russ is here. He says, oh, I'm here today. Yes, I noticed you last couple of weeks. You've been other places. This he says, and he says,
my monitor died a few minutes ago, so who knows where I am now.
Okay.
Is it plugged in?
Yeah. Turn it off and turn it on again. Charlotte says, hello somewhere, Russ. Parm is here from Vancouver, BC. She says it's beautiful and sunny. And Mary is here from Virginia. Dubrovka's here from, she says it's sunny and warm Timmins. So,
ooh, wow, that's a treat for you.
Yeah, well, it's nice here today, too. It's 15 right now, so it was nice when we were out for the walk. It's nice that it's not raining. Nina is here, and Sherry as well. Adam is here. Good evening, he says. Good afternoon, good morning. Happy birthday, Merry Christmas, just covering all the bases. Okay, have another drink, Adam. Karen is here, and Suzanne, and Kay from Happy Sunny Sunday from New Jersey. Sweet Granny's still in hospital. Hope to be out sometime this week. Well, that would be nice for you. Yes. Faith is here. Jen is here from Land Down Under. Pauline, oops, where'd it go? Pauline is here. She says, hello, Stephen and Walter, everyone. It's chilly Monday morning here in New Zealand. So we have Australia, New Zealand here. We've got the UK here. We've got the States. We've got Canada. International. Heather's here. And Adam says, well done, Walter, reminding Stephen to unmute. He didn't remind me. I said to him, remind me, but I reminded myself. Yeah. Susan's here. And Karen from Vancouver, USA. Grant's here. Marilyn and Jeannie and Debbie from Fort Erie, Ontario. She says it's a gorgeous day there too. So I guess we've got good weather right across Canada. Mm-hmm. Mary is here from Massachusetts, and Patricia is good. Okay. Good. Oh, I see. Good afternoon.
Sun brings everybody out today.
Yeah, from sunny Florida. And Sue, 74 degrees in Kentucky, USA. So, yeah, everybody's got good weather today. So that's nice for a change. How come my thing's going off? Ring. That's probably my Amazon. It is. So we'll get that later. And Branca is here as well. So, yep, everybody's here. So all coming in fast and furious. And Judy is here from Southern Michigan. It's hard to keep up with everybody. Okay, so let's get started. We'll say hello to other people that come in while we're doing this. And let's start with what I've been working on. And I've gotten further on in the Art East quilts. Second star to the right, the Peter Pan one. And I've got Peter done and I got Wendy done. Yes, her legs aren't attached yet because there's other pieces that have to go in here. That's why these pieces you're seeing are not attached yet. I'm waiting to hit that instruction in John's booklet to tell me when to put them together. I did goof up a little bit on Wendy's hair. I gave her the same color hair, although in this picture doesn't quite look like it, but it is. It's the same fabric for her hair and for Peter's hair. Her hair was supposed to be a little different color. Very close, though, to the same, and I'm not worried about it.
It does look different, though.
Yeah, it does, but it's...
You sure it's the same, different fabric?
Maybe I screwed up further than I thought. I'll have to double check that. Anyways, yeah, it's coming. It'll be fine. I'm not going to worry about it.
Blondes have more fun.
Yeah, blondes have more fun, or whatever that color is that's there. So yeah, I've been working on that. And do I not have anything? Oh yeah, I do have another thing. Well, let's jump to Walter for a second, because Walter's been busy doing his free motion quilting. We talked about this on So Chatty, so this is just a review. But we went yesterday to Tracy. Tracy is our APQS dealer, and you know, Whirls N Swirls, and she is a fantastic free motion quilter. So we went down because you wanted a special ruler.
I wanted to ask her a little bit about drawing curves and stuff like that. She said I could freehand it, but I'm not very good at freehanding it. So I did get a couple of curved rulers and that. She loaned me one.
Yeah, she loaned you one that she didn't
have
have
in
in stock.
stock. And
That's Tracy. Tracy is the nicest person you could ever meet. I mean, she will help you out with all kinds of things. You know, she takes time to, as much time as you need, she'll spend it with you. And I mean, she's not like she's got nothing better to do, because she's very, very busy. Because she also does custom quilting for clients. And we went down earlier in the week on Thursday, and something in the back of my mind said that that was when she was running her 2-day course on free motion quilting, which we took several years ago, quite a few years ago now that we took. We didn't have
yeah, I didn't really see. I had thought of taking it again, but I don't know. I didn't really see that much benefit in doing that. So
no. But anyways, so she gave us some tips and tricks while we were down there as well. And so, yeah, it's always nice to talk to Tracy, because she's wonderful. So, yeah, Walter's doing really well. Tracy was kind of impressed.
I haven't done it. I haven't gone on the machine again in the last couple of days. I'll have to hit it again. So
there's some more of your fine work there. So, yeah, so I think you might be getting ready to move on to the practice quilt.
Yeah, I'm that, or get another sheet and practice some more.
Well, how many sheets? You got to get out of the sheet, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, like sheets for you. So I'm going to show you here. No, Walter hasn't got any further on the shirt, so
no. Actually, I was starting to put the collar on this afternoon, so
well, it'll get done eventually.
It'll get done. I'll get it done before Japan. So.
Yes, that would be the plan. So I'm started another project. Like, I need another project. I'm still working on that. What's it called? Shoot, I hate being old. Yeah, you can't. What's the bloody
Arctic thing?
Alaska.
Yeah.
Alaska quilt. Sounds like iceberg. Alaska. Okay, Alaska quilt. Still working on that. I cut out some more pieces for next week for block 7 with that. And then, of course, I'm working on the Art East quilt. Now, technically, the Art East is a block of the month kind of a thing, even though we have all the fabric and have all the book for it all. But I want to work ahead. Wendy's really not due until into May. But we're going to be gone for half of May anyway. So I wanted, you know, out of my way. And then I get to start cutting up the pieces for the next one. In the meantime, when I just thought, do I need another project? Then, when you know it, Urban Threads puts this on sale. It's a bag, a tote bag, and it's called Gilded Books and Blooms, and I thought it was really cool. So I'm working on that as well. You can see it was on sale. This is pricey because this is American. Okay, so $23.96.
It's kind of pricey for a pattern.
It is. Well, I never buy their patterns on something as elaborate as this unless they're like really on sale. But even when it's been on sale for $23.96, I think it was $37 Canadian.
Yeah.
Like with the exchange rate, that's just horrible. but I think it'll be a really cool bag. And you can also make a pillow if you wish. I'm not making a pillow. And they even suggest you can make a book cover kind of thing. You can even put it on a t-shirt if you wanted to. So they're really pushing it, but I'm going to make the tote bag because I really like that. And I kind of like how they've done this with the black, but it looks like a book stand that the books are on, like a little table kind of a thing. So yeah, there's
flowers growing out of them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of, well, it's called Gilded Books and Blooms. So yeah. Now you don't do the whole thing in the hoop. You only do the panels, of course, and then I have to use, put it together like you would put together a regular tote bag kind of thing and line it and all of that. Although they do come with instructions for it, so I may or may not follow their instructions completely for that. But anyways, yep, another project. Do I need to do it? Do I need to have another project? No, I do not, but I have. So let's just get back to what everybody's talking about on here at the moment. Who else has come in? Let's see. Sue Norfleet is here. And Adam says, it's the contrast against the background fabric. Looks nice either way. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he means the Wendy and Peter there. Yeah. And Pam is here from Minnesota. And Sherry's here from... What's MT? Is that Montana? I don't know. And as says, no freezing here. Well, that's good. Gloria says, good afternoon, Stephen Walter. All sunny here in Western New York, too. And Pat's here. Hi, Pat. Hoping you both have an exciting trip and looking forward to your videos there. Yes, we will be putting up lots of videos, hopefully. And Kathy's here as well. So lots of people come in during our discussion there. So announcements and things coming up. Sewing with me on Wednesdays as usual. Links in the show notes. But this week, Monday morning coffee with Stephen. It's the last Monday of the month tomorrow, April 27th. So you know what that is. It will be alive. So brew a pot of coffee. Okay, because it will be lengthy. I mean, the last live ran almost 2 hours. And that was because of you. And I'm not saying anything against that. I was very happy to do it. In fact, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Lots of things to talk about, but I put my stuff sort of on the back burner if there's lots of stuff from all of you that are there, and I go with the flow. So that's the difference between doing a live as opposed to a pre-recorded Monday morning or Monday morning coffee with Stephen. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope you will be able to join me. We start at 8 a.m. Eastern time. So the link for it is not below. You will find, if you look on my channel, you look under lives or look under the, actually, if you look under, I think, Monday Morning Coffee with Stephen, that playlist, you'll find it right there. So that's where it is. So just click on it. I don't think I may have put the link in the show notes. I probably didn't print out the show notes. I probably did, actually, because I know what the link is beforehand. So look there. It should be there as well. Okay, so that's tomorrow. Okay, next Saturday, May the 2nd, pop-up sew day. We haven't had one in a while. The last one was in March because I had the retreat in the middle of April. And I won't be able to have another pop-up sew day until probably into June. And it might be mid-June or later part of June because we don't get back from Japan until what?
May 26th.
May 26th. Okay, so we leave on the 10th. We get back on the 26th. We have a sew day with Walter's group on the 13th of June. So, yeah. So this may be there might not be another pop-up sew day after this one for a few weeks. So that will be Saturday. Link is already in the show notes below here, and it'll be in everything next week that I put up, and those of you on the mailing list will get it mailed out to you as well. Yeah, it should be good. Now, I think I told you last time that I made it a permanent link. I may have screwed up on that. So double check what you think it might be and what it actually is in the show notes to make sure you have the right link. Because 2 came up and I thought, why do I have 2 of these up here? Because I was creating the other one. So I canceled it, one of them out. So I may have canceled out the one that I told you was a permanent link. Sorry. Technology sometimes screws me over. But anyways, so that's next Saturday. What?
We were right, Montana.
Oh, it is Montana. Oh, okay. And a few other people have come in. Barbara's here from England. Judy loves that bag. Sherry, yeah, Montana. John is here.
Hi, John.
There's John. Hi, John. And let's see. And Judy has, and the interview with Miriam, what a super girl. Interview with Miriam. Do you know what she's talking about? Judy, you need to fill me in on what you're talking about.
Maybe an older video of yours that you did?
Yeah, maybe. I don't remember. Did I interview someone named Miriam?
I don't know.
I don't remember. I'm really confused. But anyways, maybe you can shed a little bit more light on that, Judy. My memory isn't good. Judy Hebert is here as well, and Laurel is here. And Adam says hi. Hey, John. Oh. Okay, you two are getting too close.
Nice little blow a kiss.
Oh, a little blow kiss. Okay, is there something we need to know? Do Matt and Darren have to be worried? Do tell. Inquiring minds want to know all the dirty gossip. Okay, so what else? Oh, yes. On the Idiot Quilter, this past week, back up. Monday Morning Coffee last week, I talked about the retreat, of course, did a review of it, and said I think this retreat wore me out more than any of the others. And I even questioned, and I spoke to Walter about it, whether I should continue doing the retreats. They are a lot of work, and I talked about that on Monday, so I'm not going over it again. It's not that I don't enjoy putting them on, because I do, but I questioned it. But I think that was just my exhaustion speaking, because nope, don't worry, we're going to have another retreat, and the next one will be in the fall, sometime, early fall, sometime in October. Haven't picked the date yet. Still looking for suggestions for possible presenters, so if you've got some ideas, just send them on to me, either in the show notes, in the comment section below, or just send them to me directly in email, and I'll make a list, and when I get closer to the time when I'm starting my planning again, then I'll consider what you have suggested and see what I can do about that list.
Sue says Miriam is stitch obsessed, I think. Your interview was about a year ago. She has red hair.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's right. Yep. Oh, God. You expect me to remember a year ago? I don't. But anyways, okay. So that clears up the mystery. Andy's here. Hi, Andy. So, yeah, don't worry. There will be retreats. I haven't given up on them yet. Okay. New patterns are available. In fact, all of the patterns I've created over the last couple of years are available to you. They're always listed in the show notes. It's a link to my Google Drive. You just go, it's a PDF, download as many of them as you would like. They're absolutely free. The only thing I ask is, if you do one of my patterns and you get it all finished, send me a picture of the finished one so I can feature it on the Idiot Quilter as well, because I'm really interested to see what you do with the patterns. Also, I'm hoping they are error-free, but best laid plans of mice and men. If you find something that you think is a mistake or something, please let me know, and I will check it and see if indeed it is something I need to correct with it. And do keep in mind that there are various ways you can do the same thing, okay? What I put together works for me, and I think works for most people. But if you have a better method, like for making your half square triangles in it or whatever, you go ahead and do that. If it works for you, go for it. Yeah, so, you know, just make it work for yourself. Yeah. Okay.
Dubrovka's interested in what size that bag is that you're making.
It is 16 and a half inches wide across, and I think about 12 or 13 deep, something like that. It says. Actually, it's right behind me. Let me grab it. It is, well, I'll find the page. Oh, here it is. Okay, it is 16 inches wide by 13 and a quarter inches high. Tote bag. So it's not a bad size. It's a pretty good size. Walter's rolling his eyes because it's probably not as big as his bag that he makes. Because, yeah. What?
Nothing.
You're making that look.
No, I'm just wondering. You're somewhat limited when you use the embroidery machine.
When you use the embroidery machine for it. Although you're making all kinds of panels, like there's about 16 panels in it, counting 8 in the front, 8 in the back, kind of a deal. Maybe more, but
Could
anyway.
you add a panel? No, probably not.
Yeah, I think you probably could.
That shelfy thing might look funny.
Oh, the shelf thing wouldn't probably fit. No, that's right. Why do I want to make it bigger than that?
I don't know. Maybe. I'm just guessing. Why not?
My bag. Not your bag. My bag. I make my bag my way, according to the plan. You make your own bag. Like, bag off.
Nice size for books.
Yes. Let's see.
You don't use books.
Rachel's here. Hi, Rachel. Hi, yeah, I don't read books anymore. I read electronically, my Kobo. Faith says, newest pattern, not an error, but meters, not yards. Really, Stephen? Yes, Faith. No, it's in yards, Faith, because that's what patterns are written in. Yeah. We buy in Canada, we buy our fabric by meters, but patterns in Canada, mainly because of the American influence for one thing, but even Canadian designers, they all write their patterns in yards, inches and yards. So yeah, it's just the way it is. I don't know over in Europe how the patterns are. Adam can probably tell us if they have theirs in.
Are yours in
meters.
yards?
Ours are in yards.
No, I meant your pattern.
Yeah, my pattern's in yards. Yeah. Because that's how we write them. And I said, Judy says, a girl from Midwest did a table topper. Quilting was fabulous.
It almost sounds like a joke, but anyway.
Yeah. I'm not sure what Judy's referring to. It's like we came into the middle of the sentence.
Was that the one, oh, I think she's the one that saw Miriam.
Oh God. People, do you know how many conversations are going on here? Look at them. Trying to connect the dots is not easy. Laurel says Aussie patterns are in meters. Oh, are they?
Oh.
Well, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever done an Aussie pattern. Yeah. Well, you see here, it's the influence of the Americans for one thing, but also here in Canada, you know, our generation still can think in yards and feet and inches.
You can?
Is this pick on me today? Really?
Yeah, we still use yards and meters. Yards and...
Yeah. Walter, leave Steven's bag size alone. All right, Dubrovka. Colleen's here. Hi, Colleen. Adam says, I put the fabric requirements in meters, but the cutting instructions and seam allowance in imperial. Yeah, I'm trying to... I put mine in yards. I did it all in yards. I debate it, but then I thought, it makes it more accessible. The majority of people who would probably be picking up my patterns are probably going to be south of the border. So that's why I did it that way. And then Adam says, because we buy in meters, but still sew with a 1/4 inch and cut in inches per block. Yeah, that's
yeah, I know it can be kind of confusing here is because they sell like things like beef and that by the kilogram, but then they advertise it by the pound.
Oh, Faith says she begs to differ. In the amount column, it is in meters. I have it in front of me. Okay, I can't remember what I put in. You realize I wrote those patterns about 3 months ago, 4 months ago, and I've been sitting on them until after the retreat and everything. So yeah, so I did put that in meters, I guess. Yeah, but the instructions are all in inches, quarter inch, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you're right, Faith. Thank you for correcting me, Faith. Do you feel superior now? Go ahead. I know. It's all right. I understand with women, they have to be superior over men. That's something we allow you to do. That's all I'm going to say. Adam says, because we're wearing meter. Okay, we said that. Russ says, I just opened your latest pattern, see it's in meters, not yards. Yeah, we got it already. Okay.
39 inches.
You know, I'll do me, you do you, and Juju can just all fuck off. How do you like that? How do you like those? Okay. Okay. So remember, I can also knock you out of here. I don't need you. You need me. You really do. And Faith, probably the copy of the pattern I gave you has things in it to screw you up, because I just knew. And for Russ too. All right, people, get off my case. All right, on, you offer them something for nothing. Are we grateful? No. No. What is it? Look a gift horse in the mouth. Yeah, really. There you go. People.
Oh, he's got a purple hue monitor to match his hair.
Says Russ says, I'm slow. Sue me. Yeah, well, you can't get blood from a stone, Russ. I blame this purple hue monitor. Is that what's wrong with your monitor? It's changing your color on you? Oh, time to buy a new one. Come on, Russ. Get out there. Get a new monitor. Go for broke. Get one of those curved ones. That's what I want. One of those big, OLED curved. Yeah, that would be. Of course, you need a small bank loan for it, but, what the hell. Okay, so... Oh, by the way, we mentioned about Tracy and getting rulers from her. If you want to see, Tracy has a YouTube channel, and she shows you all kinds of things about free motion quilting and everything. She's a good instructor, and I put the link to her channel down in the show notes as well, if you're interested. So I've been having some problems with my bamboo printer, and I'm going to go into more detail about them tomorrow. First time I've ever had any major problem. I have bought lots of parts for it now. On the weekend, I stripped the whole machine down. I am proud to say that I am able to take the whole damn thing apart and put it all back together again. And that didn't solve my problem. But I think I have solved my problem. And I didn't really need to order all the parts I did. But I'm going to talk about that tomorrow on Monday morning coffee with Stephen, because that's when I usually talk more about 3D printing and that, and I have some other things to show you in 3D printing line as well tomorrow. So stay tuned. Adam says gives a good excuse to buy extra fabric. Yeah. A yard is only 4 inches or something different to a meter, so just buy an extra quarter yard. Yeah, actually, that's what I usually do with patterns. If it says it's 2 yards, I buy 2 meters. That means I get 6 extra inches, because a meter is 39 inches and a yard is 36 inches. So you're getting 3 extra inches on that. And you got to watch it sometimes on these quilt stores in Canada, especially online. Some of them sell by meters. Most of them do. But there are a few sneaky ones who sell by the yard, but they're charging the same price that it would be charged for a meter. So they're giving you 3 inches less. And don't tell me they haven't got that figured out yet. Especially maybe 3 inches doesn't matter when you're buying 1 yard. But if you're buying multiple yards...
Well, maybe their consideration is that most of the bolts that you buy are in yards.
Yeah, that's true.
So, which I never quite understood that. A lot of the bolts come in yards. And then they sell the fabric in meters, so they get screwed at the end.
Yeah. So, Okay, so, oh, what's the rest say? The monitor I had in here died like an hour ago. I put in the monitor David left behind, and everything looks purple. I ordered a curved from Micro Center, waiting on pickup. Ooh, a curved one. I want a curved one. I do. And Elizabeth says, bone. Okay, what did we miss? Oh, up before she
Funny
says, hey,
one,
Walter,
fun.
you do have a funny one. Give a bone. Okay. Oh, it's like a jigsaw puzzle on here today. Hope you have a great trip, Judy says to Japan. So do we. Adam says there's a company here that does that with Tula too. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Debbie says, I don't recommend the Bode monitor. We had a TV like that and the color intent was never as clear as we hoped.
Well, the curved monitors are, a lot of the bigger ones that you get now are double the resolution, so you can get two monitors on one type of thing.
That's why I want a curved one.
Yeah.
Because I want to put, like, right now, we're looking at two monitors. Here, actually, technically, we're looking at three, because my iPad's on here, so I can see what you
That's
guys
why we
see.
look like we're looking up, because we are. We are looking at the monitor he has. We're talking about is a 40-inch TV.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's a big one. So that's the one that's up above, but I didn't have room to put them vertically. So the big one is on a riser and it's above my laptop. So we have two screens happening. Actually, during the retreat, I had 4 or 5 screens going. I had these two, I had the iPad, I have a monitor mounted on the wall over here that's hooked to another computer that's right, which you can't see, but right over here. And then I have another computer that I had on my desk, my table that was off the side you couldn't see. And you would say, why do you need so many monitors? Because I'm doing a lot of things at the same time. Well, that's why I was so tired after the retreat. This is the stuff you guys don't see in the background. I'm doing all kinds of things. And then Walter had his monitor. He was on it upstairs to double check things on me, because someone has to double check me, apparently, as people have been saying about my patterns. Okay. Adam says the bolts all state 15 yards or 3.7 meters on the end, or whatever the conversion is here. Yeah, the bolts are bolts too. They say that too. The standard bolt, I guess, is 15 yards. So yeah, I don't know. It gets very confusing with it. Just go with the flow. Okay, so speaking of going with the flow, meanwhile in Canada, well, our premier, last week we mentioned he bought a plane for 28 point something million dollars because he claims he needs to jet around the province because we're a big province, except that only 10% of the runways in our province can handle the size of jet that he was buying. Well, he got so much flack from it, he returned it. He won't tell us. He says he got all the money back. Maybe yes. But the strange thing is that the jet was a used one, but it was coming up from South America.
They flew it up from South America.
Yeah.
Some other corporation owned it, supposedly.
And he's been pushing, well, there's an airport in Toronto off the islands, in Lake Ontario, off the shore of Toronto. It's a small, little, privately owned airline, Porter, that has been growing over the years. He was going to take away land from the city of Toronto, just take it, and so he could extend the runways on it. Now, this is right downtown Toronto, because Toronto is built on a lakefront, okay?
Yeah, and the island is in the lake.
Yeah,
so
in the lake, not that far from shore.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in fact, there's a tunnel from down on the waterfront of Toronto that goes under the lake, pedestrian tunnel, and gets you up into the airport.
Yeah. Now, the airport isn't massive. Like, it can't handle a great big, huge jet.
Yeah, it can't handle.
So
Toronto has a major airport for that.
Yeah.
But he wants to extend it. And now we start to put 2 and 2 together. This was a sore spot with the city of Toronto for a number of reasons, like no environmental assessments. A lot of condo building happens down on the lakefront. Like it's high density condos and everything. That's where people want to live that live in the city, and it's expensive as hell. And you know, then you have the noise from those jets that he wants to be able to go in there. Well, now it makes sense. He wanted to have a jet at his doorstep because the capital of Ontario is Toronto, and that's where the legislature is, where he hangs out as premier. So he'd be right on his doorstep practically. Just hop on, away he goes, jet setting. Yeah. Since he returned the jet, we have not heard anything more.
Yeah. Now there's another thing. There was something called a Freedom of Information Act.
Yes.
In Canada that will, if the public wants to review, or a public body wants to review what goes on in the in what politicians do and in their conversations and that, they're supposed to be able to look into what they did.
It's a matter of public record that is accessible to all Canadians.
Yeah, well, after this plane thing, he just suddenly passed a law that said his records are not allowed to be accessed.
Yeah.
And all the people that are in his party, their records can't be accessed.
Yeah. So this would suggest he has something to hide.
Exactly.
And he does a lot of backroom deals since he's got in. He's a crook. He basically is a crook. Someone wrote a comment at one section, says, didn't his brother deal in drugs? Yes, he did, and his brother was the mayor of Toronto.
Well, actually, when this premier was a teenager, he dealt in drugs too.
Yeah. They were both spoiled little rich boys. They got daddy's money. There is so many parallels between the Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, and Donald Trump. A lot. I call him Trump in training. He's mini Trump. And he's an asshole. And he's damaged majorly our healthcare system in Ontario. He's damaged majorly our education system in Ontario. And he keeps saying they're pouring all this money into those things, but show us the money because we haven't seen it in there at all. But basically, his rich buddies are getting richer. They get contracts, his developer buddies, and all that kind of stuff. So he's a crook. He is a crook. There's no two ways about it. So this is looking good on him because finally, the population, the general citizens, rose up against him on this plane thing, and we need to do that more.
Apparently
often.
There were a bunch of protests all over the place.
Yes,
in
there
Ontario.
was. Yep. So, you know, it's kind of the parallel to the Americans having no King Day. Well, no asshole day. And so, yeah. So, you know, power of the people. And I think we have forgotten that in this time, you know, across North America. We do have power. We need to use it. So, you know, don't be afraid to stand up against the bullies because that's what these people are. They're bullies. And the only way to beat a bully is to stand up to them. So, and that's what Carney's doing, our prime minister. They're about to go into negotiations again for the NAFTA thing or whatever they call it. CUSMA. NAFTA's the old term.
Yeah.
CUSMA thing, you know, the kind of free trade negotiations between our country, the States, and Mexico. And but Trump has made a list of demands that he wants Canada, Carney, to agree to before he will even meet for this. And Carney has said, bully for him, no, we do not answer to demands. We will not negotiate. We will not give you any concessions on that. That's making, what's his name, Ludnick, blow a gasket. I think he's on his way out, actually. He's gotten just a little too big for his britches now, that little twerp. But he says, Carney says, we will not bow down to the U.S. demands, and we will come to the table when it suits us, not when it suits his Lord Master on high, the great pumpkin. No. So I say, bully for our prime minister. There's a man with guts intelligence, and he's not going to take shit from a bully. He is a role model. Really, if I had children, I'd sit them in front of the TV and go, he's who you want to be. Carney, you want to be like him. Yeah, stay in school, get an education, be prime minister. However, our economy's not doing bad either. Yes, we hear the conservative, the right, going on and on how bad things are. Yeah, they're not good. I mean, but it's not as bad as the media would like us to think. Yes, prices are high. You know, you go in, it's a second mortgage for a green pepper. You know, gas prices are high. But Carney took off the federal excise tax, which drops the cost of gas at the pumps by 10 cents. Now, that's only good until Labor Day. But when do people travel the most? Vacations, summer. And he's doing this because he's throwing us a bone. He knows some people are getting impatient with the way the negotiations have been going and the tariffs and everything like that. But these things take a lot of time. And that's what a lot of Canadians don't understand. You can't have change overnight in a democracy. If you're a dictatorship like Trump is doing, well, yeah, at the whim of a hat, change it. But no. So you got to be patient. But Carney's at least doing something. Is it enough? Probably not. But how much more can he do? We're not in the war, but it's affecting us. It's not our fault. It's not our war. It's not most Americans' wars either. It's only Trump's. And of course, the Israelis. Yeah. But anyways, that's the state of Canada right now, except here's something that I don't know if this is funny or kind of sickening. You probably know the singer Drake, right? And he is Canadian. And he is a big supporter of our basketball team, Toronto basketball team, the Raptors. Always has been. He's a multimillionaire. He has a house just in an area outside Toronto in like Snob Hill area, kind of a thing and whatnot. So I guess he's coming out with a new album where he is sort of playing on his relationship to the Raptors, the basketball team, and this. So they did a publicity stunt. They got all this ice and they put it in the middle of what they call Jurassic Park. This is the area outside of the stadium where the Raptors play in downtown Toronto. So they had these great big blocks of ice, big mountain of ice. And somewhere in that mountain of ice was the date of when this album was going to be released. And I don't know if it was some sort of a contest or something. And I guess as the ice started to melt, and it was melting very slowly because there was a lot of it, people were trying to look through the ice to see if they could spot where the whatever it was written on and all that kind of thing. And I think somebody did find it eventually. But the problem was people were jumping all over the ice, and it was up quite a ways. And, you know, they could kill themselves. They did have a barricade around it, but that didn't stop a bunch of yahoos from doing this, and it became a safety hazard. So the city of Toronto ordered it by law. They got an injunction in court to tear it down. So, yeah, really?
Actually, apparently each of those blocks of ice weighed 300 pounds.
Yeah. I hope, but also they said it was going to cost a lot to clean it up.
Yeah.
After the fact. So hopefully Drake is paying for all of this and not the taxpayers in Toronto. Nobody has come across and said clearly about that. So, what, they're going to look for money from the government? Oh, they don't have any.
It also depends on who actually okayed this thing to be
Yeah, I don't know. That the whole thing's kind of, well, I don't like Drake anyway, so to hell with it. But really, and it wasn't like this was a publicity stunt that was like they were collecting donations for the homeless or for food banks or something like that. This was just to promote the release, to make a lot of hype about the release of an album, kind of like a Taylor Swift thing, you know, with that. What people are coming to. So, let's see. Rachel says, I was just about to say, drugs, plane brought up from South America, then got rid, massive drug mule plane. That's what we were saying, too. Yeah, a little suspicious, isn't it? The Steaming Bean is here. The American ambassador disgusts me. Yeah, I know. The stuff that comes out of his mouth of that Letnik character just... You can't believe it. You really can't, but there it is. Lucy says, and the Americans who voted Trump in have to take responsibility for Trump's actions. Yeah, but what are they going to do? You know, there's still people who believe that everything that comes out of the orange pumpkin's mouth is the truth. What can you do? Kim's here. Hi, Kim. So, yeah. So anyways, that brings us to, when we're talking about scams and everything, groceries. Because all of us, no matter what side of the border you're on or almost what part of the world you're living in, thanks to what's going on in the Middle East and other things and the whole bit, we're all affected by it. I just finished watching a documentary on 60 Minutes Australia. And, you know, we've been to Australia, you know that. We love Australia. They're really in a bad way. We think the prices are bad here. It is even worse in Australia. And there are people who are afraid they're going to lose their home. And these are people who have jobs. I'm not talking about homeless people. I'm talking about your middle class because they can't afford anything. I thought was really sad is one guy said, as a father, his daughter, who's young, wanted to get, they went past a McDonald's and she wanted to get a McFlurry. Good luck, because half the time the ice cream machine at McDonald's, they're infamous for not in operation. But anyways, he said, I couldn't get her one. $4.50 for a McFlurry. He says, I cannot afford to buy that for my daughter. And this is a man who had a job and a relatively good, like he's middle class. So yeah, things could be worse, I guess, because in Canada, well, we have that too happening with the food banks and everything. So grocery stores. I still think that we're being lied to from the government and the grocery stores especially. The grocery stores claim they are not gouging us. They claim that they don't make much off of anything out of the food that they sell. Now we know, and that's one of the scams we'll talk about in a minute, about placement on shelving and how they do that. But before we get to that, let's talk about things that we might not consider as scams, but maybe they should be considered as scams. Let's talk about coupons or points. In fact, it's more points now than it is coupons. You know, if you buy with their store loyalty card or your MasterCard, your Visa or something like that, you get so many points. Like we have a PC MasterCard. PC is President's Choice. It's one of our largest chains of grocery stores. And for every so much you spend, you get so many points, and you can redeem the points against your food bill. And actually, we have taken advantage of that over time. And when it first started, it was pretty good. We were massing a lot of points on that sucker. Well, yeah, those cards start out that way. They don't stay that way. Now it takes even more purchases to get even less points all the time. But they make you think that you're going to get all this.
That, their prices are higher than some other grocery stores.
Uh-huh.
So you're actually paying for your points.
Yeah. And the other thing, too, is about them, especially with President's Choice, which is Loblaws. The Canadians will know what that is, what that company is. They have their own little products that they put on sale. They have a brand called President's Choice. And if you buy President's Choice on a certain week or something of a product, you get bonus points. Problem is, President's Choice is more expensive than other brand names of the same product, too. So you got to watch that. But you think you're going to get something for nothing here, and you're not. And that's how the loyalty cards work, too.
Yeah, well, Lucy B says loyalty cards are a way of a store getting info from us. And
yes,
that's
that is
true.
That is very true.
They track you, and they track what you buy and things like that. So
yeah. Rachel said, oh, yes, food prices have increased. One item that I buy went up 40 pence in 1 week. I emailed the company saying I understood prices are going up, but 40 pence in 1 week is a tad excessive. Didn't get a reply. But 1 month later, the price has gone back to the price it was before I emailed. Result. Okay, here's a good point too. You know, I love to write letters of complaint to companies. And you know why I do it? I wish I didn't have to. But if we all wrote letters or emails, let's bring it in the modern age, emails of complaint about things like what Lucy's talking about and that kind of thing, that puts pressure on these companies to do something. Now, you can say to yourself, well, I'm one person, it's not going to make a difference. Yeah, it does. It does. It makes them think. And if other people do it too, then it does have an effect. Is it going to solve the problem? No, it's not. But you have to be persistent. And what most people do is, well, they're not going to listen to me anyway, so why bother? Well, they do. I just sent one off to Skechers, the shoe people. Yep, yesterday. Because I bought a pair. I like Skechers. I have a couple of pairs of Skechers, but I bought the ones that you slip your foot into. I really liked those when I first got them. When we were over last summer in England, we did a lot of walking, and I realized those shoes have absolutely no support in them. Yes, they're easy to put on, but when you're doing any kind of distance walking or anything, they are not good for that because there's absolutely no support. So I bought a new pair of Skechers that lace up when we were in Birmingham, and they're in my shoe I wear all the time now because they have support. So I thought the other day, you know, I should write to them and let them know about this. So I did. So I don't know if I'll get what kind of answer I'll get back. I did get one of their automatic emails saying that it's in the queue, that they have a ticket they've opened for me.
One problem with Skechers is last year, it used to be a family-run business.
Mm-hmm.
And then they sold off the business to a big, huge corporation last year.
Yeah. Hi, Joanna. Yeah, so, you know, and I've written, you heard me talk a few weeks ago about writing to Wendy's. You know, I could have got back the money we had spent on that meal that day. I refused it. They offered it to me. I refused it because I thought that would give it more legitimacy too. And my point was not to get something for nothing or even get my money back. We ate the food. Weren't happy about it, but we ate the food. So, yeah.
Lucia says, have you tried barefoot shoes? I have not heard of
Haven't heard of barefoot shoes. Not sure
if we can even
get them here or whatever. But anyways, we're not talking about shoes, we're talking about food. So, sales. All right. Walter loves a sale, and he looks at all the online flyers, and you know, we will go out and we will go into hamburgers on sale someplace or chicken or whatever. We do go, and we do have a freezer, a couple of them. And so we stock up when things are on sale. But the thing is sales, are they really a sale? Because just before they have the sale, they mark it all up higher. So what you're paying for is exactly what the price is normally.
Well, that's if this food store has a sale.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a lot of sales that we don't know about that are manufacturer sales. Like sometimes, let's say peanut butter goes on sale. You'll notice that all the flyers has peanut butter on sale. So what it is, it's actually a manufacturer's discount, not a store discount. But that happens with TV sets a lot. If you want to buy a TV set, for instance, and it goes on sale everywhere because it's actually the manufacturer that has it for sale and not the store.
And you know this how?
Because if you go to a manufacturer site, they have them listed for the same price.
There you go. See, Costco does that all the time.
Yeah.
When you see something on sale at Costco, a lot of times, like on an appliance or something, it is because the manufacturer has put it on sale as well. But grocery stores have a little bit more freedom to do what they want to do. And they suck you in because they know people like a sale. And they put the sales on certain things you probably wouldn't necessarily buy normally either. Like meat, certain types of meat. And you go, oh, wow, you know, meat's gone up in price. I should latch on this now. But is it really a sale? Is it really a bargain? Or is it a
supply and demand thing?
Well, that's the other thing. Because what was it you said the other day that they're doing now with pricing? they're
They're doing fluctuating pricing, sort of like if, for instance, you order an Uber on New Year's Eve, the Uber is much more expensive on New Year's Eve than it is any other day because there's supply and demand. They know that there's going to be a lot of demand on New Year's Day or whatever, or New Year's Eve, so they jack the prices up, right? So if they were talking about doing this in the grocery stores here, if there's a huge demand for toilet paper, for instance, then they jack up the prices for toilet paper. And or if let's say there's a shortage of a product, they jack up the prices.
and sometimes they make you think there is a shortage for a product. And the example here is, think of COVID and toilet paper. There wasn't a shortage. The stores made it sound like there was, and so then it became a shortage because people were buying excessive amounts. They were stockpiling it, and the prices went up. I remember we got caught up in that too. We went to where we don't usually.
Just so happened to run out toilet paper.
Yeah, and it was like double the price for.
Yeah,
and that was at a Walmart, and we were just like the rest of the hordes. There were 2 big things of it left on the shelf. We took both. So they do create an artificial sense of panic in these cases. So let's talk about meat. All right, because there's been several things on YouTube and that about meat prices from 60 Minutes and W5 is the news program in Canada, and on other ones around the world. So they did we have a show called Marketplace, a news program, and they are a consumer affairs kind of program. And so about a year or so ago, they heard people complaining that on the package of the meat, it said there was this amount in the package, and this is how much it was per kilogram or whatever, or for other people, the imperial pound, and all that kind of thing. Well, when they weighed it, they realized that they were being charged for the packaging as well in that weight that they quoted on there. So they went and they approached the grocery stores about this, and the grocery stores tried to say, oh, that was a mistake. That shouldn't happen. We've corrected our scales now so that, the packaging isn't included in that total weight, which affects the price and everything. Well, a year later, they did some more checks again. They hadn't changed it. It was the same. And it was a considerable difference. You thought you were getting, let's say, a pound. And what you were getting was basically 8.76 of a pound or something like that. But they were charging you for a whole pound.
because the packaging weighed more.
Yeah. With that kind of thing. And they were also doing something also underhanded. I don't know, like when you buy something like chicken, and oftentimes in the little tray the chicken's in, there's this little pad that absorbs the juice and blood and stuff in there. And well, they were putting in a couple of those pads because they were
or they've rinsed the chicken in a lot of water, or they've soaked the chicken in a lot of water, and then they throw it in here with these two pads. So you're not only buying the chicken, you're buying a bunch of water.
Yeah. And then they also found out that the scales are not necessarily accurate. Now, there is a law in both Canada and the United States anywhere, and probably in other parts of the world too, where there are inspectors that come in and you have to make sure that your scales have been
Calibrated.
That's right, correctly. If not, you can be fined. The store can be fined for this. Well, they went in and found that there was not enough inspectors for it all, or it doesn't happen as regularly as it should, and scales were out by a considerable margin. So if you're weighing produce, fruit, whatever, or meat and stuff like that, yeah, you were getting ripped off by that. So I think that's really interesting. But the grocery stores say, no, we're not. No, we're not doing it. Well, we'll look into that. That's terrible.
Another thing, that packaging, like Lucy says here, ham is injected with water sometimes. Mm-hmm. Actually, what else happens sometimes in frozen foods and things like that is they'll add a packet of sauce in with your product.
Oh, yes.
Right? So you have this great big packet of sauce that weighs quite a bit, and then it looks like you're getting a fair bit of product in your package, but you get a smaller amount plus this big heavy packet of sauce that's mostly water.
Yeah. Yeah. Which you may not even want the sauce.
Yeah.
Lucy says we have laws in the UK that an item has to be for sale for a certain length of time before it can be claimed as a reduction or sale. I don't think we have that here in Canada. I don't know for sure. Rachel says, don't know if you have the same in Canada, but UK stores have yellow sticker items, sometimes different colors, usually due to come to use by date couple days away.
I think that's close to expiry.
Oh, closer. Buy those and freeze. Oh, yeah. We have those too. Quick sale things they call them. Yeah, 30% off, 50% off because the bananas are rotten stuff. We have bought sometimes, if you never overlook those though, because sometimes you get like 3 or 4 peppers in a bag. And yeah, they might be just about on the tinge of getting puckery and that. But if they look okay, make stuffed peppers. Or slice them up when you get home and freeze them. You can use them in stir fries or in cooking, you know, that kind of thing. Sometimes you can get good deals on that. Actually, one of the deals we get at Costco sometimes is, you know, Costco's famous for the rotisserie chicken, which are a bargain to start with because those chickens are big. And here in Canada, they're $7.99. I think in the States they're $5.99 or something like that.
I think they're $4.99.
What, in the States?
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, $7.99 here for a full chicken, rotisserie chicken, is a really good price because these suckers are big. But sometimes if they don't all sell on that day, they will put them in with their chiller where they have the stuff that has to be kept cold but not frozen, and they mark them down to like $5.99 Canadian for it. And if we see them, we'll buy a couple of them. And we bring them home and Walter cuts them up and we've got chicken forever with it. And I like their rotisserie chicken. And we usually do it with Swiss chalet sauce, which Americans won't know what that is. But yeah, so sometimes you can get a deal. But not often. You got to be a smart shopper. So let's see. Somebody else said something here. Lucy Inez says, I find with Sobeys, buy one, get one free. What a joke. Yes, and that's really next on my list here. But Carol says, my 2 local stores are advertising locked in prices and simply lower price. However, these prices are higher than sale prices. I try to but only items on sale, buy only items on sale. Yeah, that is another ploy. You know, how do you know as a consumer that this is the lowest price in town? Because I don't think most of us go around to every one of the grocery stores, even online, and check out to see if it's the lowest price. So they know you're not going to do that. So that's a scam to get you in the store. Let's see. Barb says, I may be like a lot of people. I don't pay attention to weight of an item. I buy meat based on the actual price of the item. Yeah, that's how most of us do it because we trust them. We think, well, yeah, they say this is how much it is per pound, and this is the total weight of it, so this is what this calculates out.
Yeah, but Barb, don't you, if you buy, let's say, hamburger, right, and you want to buy 2 pounds of hamburger or whatever, don't you then look at the weight? I do.
Yeah, but
And
a lot of people don't.
I look at the price. One thing I've noticed in Canada, what's interesting is that a lot of our meat, I don't know how it is in Calgary, but in our area, our meat is sold by the kilogram, but often it's advertised by the pound.
Yeah.
And then what happens is you'll get a kilogram of hamburger, and they'll say it's $10 or something. Well, it used to be, it's not $10 anymore, but it used to be a set price. And people would look at this tray, and it would have, let's say, 2 pounds in it or something like this, but it would have 1 kilogram, which is 2.2 pounds.
Yeah.
Right? And they'll have a kilogram in it, and it's 2.2 pounds, and it'll be a set price like $10 or $15 or whatever. And people look at it, and they'll think that's a ripoff because they don't understand how much a kilogram is.
Yeah. And they purposely have the 2 weight measurements on to confuse people.
Yeah.
Especially older people like us who grew up with imperial, not with metric. So, yeah. Cheryl says, so tell us what Swiss chalet sauce is. Oh, okay. We have a chain of restaurants that are famous for the rotisserie chicken in Canada. They're called Swiss Chalet, and they have this sauce. It's a dipping sauce that you dip your chicken in. Everybody loves the Swiss Chalet sauce.
Yeah, it's not that exciting. It's a paprika-based sauce with cornstarch in it to make it thick, and it's got a lot of sodium in it.
Yeah, it's so, but it's tasty.
But it's tasty.
And Costco used to sell the dry mix. We can buy it in small packages in grocery stores too, and that. But they used to have a bigger package of it, and we used to buy it. Well, Costco for some reason has stopped selling it, but it was great because you'd mix up what you wanted from it, just like a gravy. It's basically what it is, and it's great with the rotisserie chicken because you can't really make gravy from a rotisserie chicken because you don't have any drippings from it because you didn't roast it, sort of a thing. So that's what Swiss Chalet sauce is, and Canadians go apeshit on Swiss Chalet sauce for the most part. Tesco says Aldi matched for certain items. We used to have price matching with some of the grocery stores. You could take in a flyer and say, okay, this store is offering this at this price. I want yours. And they would give it to you. They don't do it now.
Yeah, they don't.
They stopped doing price matching. Yeah. And as says, our local store just got fined for selling meat at a higher price than the weight. And good, they should be. But I don't think the fines are high enough because they still do it. They still do it. In the UK, Lucy says it's all kilos. Reputable stores always quote price per kilo for all groceries. Yeah, ours
are sold, or everything's weighed by the kilo, but it's sold by the pound, or advertised by the pound, put it that way. So yeah, if you buy a kilogram of hamburger, Lucy, you're getting 2.2 pounds. 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams. Here, I'll give you basic math. And a pound is 454 grams.
So a kilogram is 2.2 pounds.
Yeah.
That's how it works out. And that's what Barb was. She said she didn't really know how many kilograms is equal to 2 pounds. Or
yeah.
1 kilogram equals 2.2 pounds. Yeah. Rachel says, I'm glad my fave food is cucumber and tomato sandwich.
Yeah.
Well, wait, unless you're growing your own cucumbers and your own tomato, that's going to cost you. And bread is astronomical for it. So, yeah. They still have price matching in Calgary. Yeah, here.
Nope.
Where we are.
Price matching anymore.
Price matching. They got rid of it. Yeah. So, so the fake buy one, get one free deals. Stores raise the price of an item just before offering it at a sale price, meaning you pay full price or more for discounted items. So the buy one, get one, and actually, a lot of the times it's not buy one, get one. It's buy one, get a second one for 50% off or something like that. But they've already raised the price up. So they're not losing money.
Yeah, there's also a thing I've noticed in our area. We have these Loblaws chain of stores, and they have the store brand products as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the store brand products were always considered to be less price, a lower price than name brands, right? And I have noticed in the Loblaws chain anyway that the store brands are often more expensive.
Yeah. They used to be, they called them no-name products for a while. And they came in like a bright yellow container, label, box, whatever. And when they first started, they were cheaper, but they're not anymore. And in some cases, they're more expensive than the name brand items. So, but because they trained us to recognize the yellow boxes now, oh, well, that's the store brand. Or now they've extended it. They have like, Sobeys has Our Compliments. It's a store brand. Loblaws has President's Choice.
No, the President's Choice was considered the premium store brand.
I didn't think when it first started out it was, though.
No, it was. It was the no name was the lower priced one.
anyways, they have their own store brands, but because it's their store brand, we've been trained to think that that's going to be less expensive. It's not. In many cases,
Yeah,
it's
like
more.
I mean, a sample was simple. It was sour cream. You know, you got a name brand sour cream, and it was one price, and the No Frills brand, which is considered the cheap brand, it was more expensive than the dairy brand.
But what I'm saying is we were trained.
No, I know you're trained to see the yellow.
And you just immediately went to it because you thought it was cheaper.
Yeah.
And people still do that now. You have to stop before you put your hand on it, put your hand on the name brand and compare the price. And not only compare price, but compare how much you're getting at that price. Because we all know about shrinkflation, right? And store brand products might actually be slightly cheaper, but you have to compare it. Walter does this all the time. You have to compare it with what you're getting. So you might be getting something that's 450 milliliters, and it's the brand name, and it's $2.99 for that, let's say. And the store brand is $2.69, but it may only be 400 milliliters. So you guys, and what they're trusting is that you won't notice that, and you're not going to do the math to figure out. The only way you can figure that out is you got to do a unit price. How much per milliliter are you spending on it? So yeah, that's a scam. It's a scam. It's to maximize their profit. Then there's the other thing. When they came out years ago and started scanning all our groceries with the barcodes, and they came out with a law, and the law is still in effect. It said, if at the checkout the price is scanned and it's scanned incorrectly, it comes up the wrong price. For example, you bought something, it said it was supposed to be $8. They scanned it, it was $9. They have to give it to you for the lesser price.
Actually, the scan code thing in our area was that if it was scanned, if the price was scanned wrong, whether it was higher or lower, if it was scanned wrong, the store has to give you that item for free, up to $10.
Yeah. And Walter has caught them a few times. He's got some freebies on it.
Yeah, I did.
You want to go grocery shopping with Walter, because
and I got that from a friend
prices.
of mine, so I've nailed them. Actually, one thing Walmart is really good at having accurate pricing.
Yes. Yeah.
You won't get that at Walmart because Walmart is extremely good at accurate pricing.
Somebody's head's going to roll if it's wrong. And so they're good at that. Now, did we talk?
But you have to take them to task. And most of the stores have the scanner code, the law, posted on the side of their cash register.
Yeah.
And you have to read that.
And you got to catch them.
And you have to catch them, and you have to take them to task, because a lot of the store clerks will try and adjust the price at the till.
Yeah. We're going to come back to your receipt too, because there's a scam in that as well. But we were talking earlier about supply and demand pricing, or I think they refer to it as dynamic
pricing.
And so explain it.
Well, if let's say, like we were saying about the toilet paper, if suddenly there's a shortage of toilet paper and there's a run on toilet paper, then the stores will suddenly jack up the prices. And what they're starting to do in Canada is put on the shelf price has an electronic price tag on it that can be adjusted immediately.
Yeah.
Right. So if, let's say, in the store, you go into the store and suddenly a lot of people are buying pasta sauce or something like that, right? And the store realizes, oh, we're getting low on our pasta sauce, rather than just reordering it. They'll say, well, just jack up the price on the shelf. And then they do it instantly.
And, in the old days when they had to actually put a price ticket on it, that would take them forever if they were going to do that. But now the electronic little thing they have, they just come and buy with their scanner and go boop, and it changes it just like that.
So like it's supply and demand pricing.
It's kind of like how we buy gas.
The airlines have done it for years, and airlines usually sell their seats in chunks, and the fuller the plane gets, the more expensive the seats get. And that's the same kind of idea.
Yeah. So there are other things though that they do as well, which is like physical placement of items. How the grocery stores make their money is they rent certain premium spacing on their shelves for certain products, brand name products. So if you go into a store, the ones that are rated at your eye level are usually the higher priced items, and they are brand names. And the way the store is making money isn't from you buying them so much as what they charge the manufacturer of that product to put that product placement so it's in your eye level. Because you might not go and get down lower and look down at the bottom shelves below that have the same products but different manufacturer, which might be cheaper.
Yeah, stores will charge where products get placed on the shelf. So let's say Heinz ketchup is here, but no name ketchup is down there,
out of your sight. And think about it. You're moving around with a shopping cart and the whole bit. Where do your eyes always go? Right level as you're going down the aisle. Do you stop? And when you see, okay, I need ketchup, there's Heinz. I'll get that. Yeah, that's ketchup. But below, as Walter says, do you look down below? So it might be a good idea to get down your hands and knees and crawl along the floor for that. Another thing they do too is the aisle layout. Have you ever noticed how long the aisles are in the grocery store? You're walking for miles. The Great Canadian Superstore, which is owned by Loblaws, major corporation here in Canada, it takes you forever to get down one aisle to the next, and no shortcut. You have to go all the way to the end of the aisle to go up the next aisle. Why do they do that? Because you're going to pass a lot of products, and they're playing on the idea that you're an impulse buyer, because we are. And speaking of impulse buying, where do they put what supposedly is on sale? On the ends of aisles, because they've trained us. If something's on sale, they'll usually have a display of it at the end of an aisle. Watch it. Not everything that's at the end of the aisle is necessarily on sale. But because we've been trained to think that, we automatically assume without thinking, it's subconscious, oh, this must be on sale, I'll get that. It's
or
on the
they'll
end of the
put
aisle.
things on sale in different areas of the store, so you'll have to go around looking for it.
It's like a scavenger hunt. And in the process of you scavenging for where this thing is, you'll probably pick up something else, impulse buy. And think about the employees. Now, I don't know this for sure, but you know, when you go and you ask somebody that's stocking a shelf or something, where is such and such? They'll go, oh, it's probably around aisle 3 or 4. Do they know or don't they know? Think about it. If they've worked there for a while and they stock shelves, they'll pretty much know where everything is. So have they been told that they are not supposed to specifically tell you exactly where something is? Or, oh, it's in around aisle 3 or 4. And you go on a hunt and you go through all these other things. Also, if you notice, some things get changed around in the store. You know, you've been shopping this store for years, and there are certain things on your list you get, there's staples for you or whatever, and you go to find it and it's not there. It's not in the same place it's been for the last few weeks. It's gone. It's somewhere else. And you have to go hunting for it. So combine that with the employee who's been told they're not supposed to tell you exactly where it is. You're hunting again. It's a scavenger hunt. For you to, you'll probably pick up 1 or 2 items you didn't realize you needed. So you have to watch that. They do the same thing at the checkouts. Now it's gotten a little bit worse for them. And I'm waiting to see, and maybe they're already doing this in some places. Self-checkouts. Before, when you stood in line, waiting to get through the checkout, there was always a display of chocolate bars, magazines, hair clips, whatever, miscellaneous things, lip balm, and whatnot. Those are impulse buys. You're standing there, you're bored, you're waiting to get through, and you go, oh, there's an interesting story on that magazine. You might pick it up. You might pick up a chocolate bar or a thing of gum or whatever, or a hair clip. They're little things. They don't usually cost a whole lot of money. So impulse buy. You pick it up. That's why they put it there.
Yeah,
Or-
especially now where you have the common lines. There's one common line for a bunch of cash
Yeah.
registers. Then they've got a larger lineup
Yeah.
of stuff.
And they have, yeah, it's all there, just like regular shelves now. So yeah, I guess they actually do have it. I hadn't even been thinking about that. Also, other things they do, like, okay, there's now this trend to create gourmet layouts in the grocery stores. If you go to certain grocery stores, when you go into the fruits and vegetables, it's brightly lit. The signs are all very like maybe market theme, country theme kind of thing. Everything is very nicely laid out, you know. Instead of it being aisle after aisle, it's a grouping here, a grouping there. And they match items up. Like, okay, you go in and you find the cheese, but the cheese is near the wine, if your grocery store sells wine. Or it's snack crackers, like gourmet snack crackers, or freshly baked, supposedly, rolls or baguettes and stuff like that. It's all perfectly planned out to get you to buy more than what you really need. And of course, all those items are at a premium price. Or now they have the hot to go. You know, people are busy. They don't cook anymore. They're in the grocery store picking up a pepper on the way. Oh, they passed the sushi. Or the gourmet pastas. Or the fresh lobster bits. Or all these other things that you can get.
Yeah, a lot of places have takeout areas now,
Yeah,
so.
for all that. That all look like, you know, kind of like a restaurant, high-end restaurant buffet there. They even have people behind the counters wearing chef hats and everything, looking like they're making all this stuff at the time. You go to the meat counter. It's like going to a butcher. You know, you can pick the meat you want and how much of it, but price it. It's going to cost you more there too. But those are all gimmicks to get you into it, to think you're in it. We have a chain out here called Farm Boy, and that's exactly how their store is, and their prices are higher than other ones, but they're owned by Sobeys, which is a popular chain grocery store. This is their gourmet selection, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Music and lighting, something we don't even pay attention to. Grocery stores are always brightly lit in such a way to make the produce and things look fresher, look nicer. The meat counter has special lighting in it to make the beef look juicier and redder, and because that suggests freshness and high quality cuts. Look up at the ceiling the next time you go into a grocery store and look at the type of lighting they have. A lot of specialty spot lighting in certain areas and all of that. It is a stage production. It's so you will have an experience and you kind of forget what the prices are on things, or you buy stuff you don't normally buy. Oh, well, we'll just treat ourselves and buy that little wedge of cheese that's $40. Yeah. And music too. Music in them. Now, if you go into a fast food restaurant, if there's music playing, it's fast. They want you in, they want you out. That's how it works. When you're in a grocery store, depending on the type of grocery store you're in, the music may be more calming, soothing. It's an experience. It lulls you into a sense of, oh, this is nice. Oh, I love that. Yeah, it's all done on purpose. Everything is planned. It's nothing by chance. Even the entrance of a store, when you walk in, look at what they have in there. They will have maybe potato chips or baguettes, or they've got a bakery product sitting there like butter tarts or something like that. Because when you walk into the grocery store and you see that, you go, ooh, your eyes are going to see it. It's the first thing you're going to see. And think about what's the first thing when you walk into a grocery store. It isn't the cat food. Okay? It's probably the produce first, because that's where they're making a lot of money, is on that. Get you right in there for that. Also, they combine that with the gourmet layout and the whole bit and the lighting. Yeah, they had you at the green pepper aisle. Let's see. Backing up. Yes, sale items are on end caps. Yeah. Kathy says she does a lot of online shopping, mostly exclusively now for groceries. Yes, but that doesn't mean you're getting the best price on online shopping either. So you got to watch it. You got to know your prices.
Actually, there was when it was the pandemic, we did a little bit
we did
online shopping, and found that some places were increasing the prices for depending on what company. We went through an Instacart once, and it was we found that the prices were jacked up for those items.
For those items from what was in the
from what was on the shelf.
So you're paying for the convenience of having somebody come and deliver it to you. They had that all built in.
And then we did it through the store, and we got the regular price from the store. But then sometimes items that were on our list were ones that either they couldn't find or something like that, and then they substituted items that we didn't necessarily want.
Kim says, I thought companies like Procter & Gamble pay for premium spots on the shelf. Yes, they do.
That's what we said.
That's what we said.
And it wasn't just Procter & Gamble, Heinz, all
the major brands.
All the big brands.
All the big brands, yeah.
Have to pay for shelf space.
Next time you're in the grocery store, look at that.
That is also the case for department stores that sell appliances and things like that. All the name brand stuff goes right to the best locations in the store.
And it says if they are trained right, meaning the employees, they're supposed to take you to where it is. If they were trained in the way that in the old days, they're not trained like that anymore.
Well, not in Canada.
Not in Canada. No. They're employees. Their job is to put things on the shelf and sell things to you. I mean, some of them have, Costco's famous for this, but they'll have samples set up to get you to buy new products, and they're usually expensive, and it like boxed things and stuff like that. That's all part of the ploy with it all. Rachel says most of our larger supermarkets have signs above each aisle saying what that aisle has in it. Yes, they do. Ours do too, but they're generic. International, pasta, snacks, rice, cereal, that kind of thing. And they don't always, you have to look at them, they do not always match up exactly. Not here.
Or they don't necessarily have, and usually in our aisles, they'll have one sign on one end of the aisle, a sign on the other end of the aisle. And sometimes there's products there, if you're looking for something, a specialty item, that won't be on that sign.
Cheryl says she uses the store app to find what I'm looking for in the grocery store.
I have often done that. However, some of our stores in Canada, they don't have store apps that you can look up stuff.
Yeah. Sherry says it's smart marketing. Yes, it is. And Ed says it's called suggestive selling or add-on sales. Yes, it is. Kim says, is subliminal suggestion advertising still a thing? Oh, yes, yeah. It is. Majorly so. Yes, it is. And Ed says, red meat means it's probably had a special red paper put over a few minutes before packaging. Yeah, it could. There was a time, I think, that they caught them and they stopped doing it, but there was a time when they used food coloring to make the red look redder on meats. So we associate red meat with freshness. Pauline says, if you just need milk, you have to walk to other end of the store. Yep, another market gimmick to make you stop and buy more. Yeah, that's what I mean. The aisles are long as you truck through with it. So yeah. Kim says, milk and eggs are always at the back. Yep, they usually are because that's where all the big coolers are, right? And they can't do much about that. They have to keep those cold.
But they also, I think they also place those coolers in such a spot where you have to go all the way through.
Well,
the
you have to
store.
go all the way to the back of the
That's why
store. Yeah.
bread is often way at the back too.
Yeah, that's right. Barb says, Kim at Save-On in Calgary, they have a special cooler right at the front with milk and eggs in it for a quick grab and go. Yeah, actually, Farm Boy, they have that too. These portable cooler areas where they put, I'm not so sure if they put milk and eggs in it, but they put specialty sauces, like to make it look like they just made them fresh, and that they have to be kept cold for that. They've got a lot of tricks like that. So some of the other things that we didn't talk about is another ploy. It's a scam. Is charity donations. We've all been at the checkout. We're saying, would you like to donate $2 to sick kids? I don't know. None of my kids are sick. Why would I want to do that? Or do you want to buy for $5? They have these empty paper bags that are like for, the food bank and stuff like that. They play on your guilt. My question is this, and I have no proof to, no way of proving this one way or the other, is I often wonder how much of those donations that you give at that point actually go to the people they say they're going to. Or does the corporation take a service charge for collecting it? I don't know. You can't get a straight answer from them either on that. So I'm always a little leery about that. So how do we avoid getting scammed? Well, it's very difficult. The first thing, and they all marketers and that, or people who talk about consumer behavior and that, say, have a list and stick to it. Because we already talked about a number of the items here that are impulse buys. And it's not easy. It isn't easy. I'm a sucker for an impulse too. If I see, oh, look, they've got butter tarts, and they say they're on sale. Oh, I love butter tarts. Not on my list. I want butter tarts. I will probably buy them. Never shop on an empty stomach. They always tell you that. Because especially in the places that have these fresh, hot foods, as soon as you walk in the place, you smell it wafting through. And that's done on purpose. They want you to smell that, because that's, if you're hungry at all, you're going to be enticed. You need to comparison shop on sale prices before to see what really is a deal. Yes, that takes some time. Walter loves it. It's one of his hobbies. He's always going through the electronic sales flyers all the time with it. But we have gotten some deals in the past because he's been vigilant about that. Now, review your receipt immediately before you leave the store to ensure the sale prices were applied. We make an assumption. It said on the shelf that it's on sale. When we get up to the checkout, everything's going by really fast when you're at the checkout, especially if you're bagging your own stuff and that. If it's, a cashier. If you're doing self-checking, you need to slow down and look at what the prices are that come up, because they make mistakes, So, and if it's too late after you've gone out of the store to try and come back and refute it. Now you can do it, because I have said, look, this was on sale. I was in here an hour ago. This is my receipt. This is what I was charged. They can't really argue with you, and they usually give you the refund on the item. However, a lot of people never look at their sales bill. They just assume that that's the price is there, that they've done it correctly. Don't assume. Now, try to avoid shopping with kids. Okay? I have no problem with that. Even if I had any, I wouldn't be taking the little bastards there. But here's why. Okay? They fill up your cart. They're constantly, what do kids do? We did it as kids. My mother always bought the giant economy size bag of puffed wheat for cereal. And she had a trick for this. But we wanted Fruit Loops, Captain Crunch. When this bag is done, we'll get some of that. That bag never ended. Never ran out. Never figured that out. So, but we were kids. These were the things we wanted. Those items are pricier. And you know, if given today, and you see it in the grocery store, everybody has, the kid throws a temper tantrum. I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. And the parent often gives in. Oh, shit, just shut up. Here, we got it. So, yeah, avoid shopping with children. And there's one magic word. What are you laughing at?
Nothing, go ahead.
And there's one word. The hell are you laughing? What's Adam doing?
Adam goes, I currently support National Dead Children and Dogs Trust in Woodland. Then he says, deaf.
Deaf.
Deaf children, not dead children.
Oh. I'd like to say
I
we
support dead children.
So
throw them to the dogs.
The last thing is that you have the power of, and so many of us do not use it, is the word no. When you're being asked at the checkout to donate, say no. You do not have to give them an explanation. You do not have to make an excuse. All you need to say is, no, thank you. I do it all the time. No, thank you.
Yeah, I'd rather give a regular donation to a charity that I want to give a donation to than...
Yeah, but you can also use that word in other things in the grocery store too. When you get up to the checkout and they charge you the wrong price or something, just say no. I'm not paying that. You need to say it out loud. No. And what I mean is, this is a mistake. If you say in your own head, oh, I don't want to make a fuss, there's all these people behind me and they're all going to get grumpy, then pay the price. They're kind of counting on that you won't make a scene for all of that. So anyways, these are the things that are there. Apparently we could do a second chapter on this with a different bend to it. I didn't know this, but there are all kinds of scams that aren't because of the grocery store, by the people shopping in the grocery store that are using things. One of those scams I came upon was, and you see them on YouTube, a guy with a full cart goes through the checkout, or somebody goes through the checkout, and they go, oh, shoot, I left my wallet at home. Would you mind paying for this for me, and I'll send you the money, or I'll just take your address and I'll deliver the money to you, or send it to you like e-transfer. Yeah, that's a scam. No. And there's other ones too that I didn't know that. So maybe we'll do another thing on that another time too, because that was kind of a surprise to me. Rachel says, my child never threw a temper tantrum. She did, however, take every tin off the bottom shelf and made a pyramid in the middle of the aisle. I'd only turned around for a minute. Yeah, we weren't...
Back to
yeah. What? We weren't allowed as children to make a temper tantrum because we would get hit.
Yes.
Yeah. And, you know, and for small children making pyramids, I'll do the hitting. Oh, I didn't see your little darling. I accidentally ran over them with my shopping cart. I'm so sorry. I hope they're okay. But why did you back over them again? I wanted to make sure. So what's you're saying?
No.
What? What? You were pointing up
No,
here.
I said you went to the bottom of the script, not to the top.
I didn't do anything. So, okay, let's see what we'll finish up with what people are saying here. But we did that one. Rita did that. Sue says, Walmart has a great store app. I can generally find whatever I want, even if it's on the top shelf and I have to find a tall person to get it for me. Well, we have some of those too.
Some of those. The Walmart one, ours is kind of iffy.
Yeah. And you use the app for Canadian Tire, and that never works.
Yeah. Well, that one usually works. It does work, but half the time the stuff's not on the shelf.
Oh, well, so there you go. The items on the end caps, Debbie say, of the aisles are almost ready to expire. Always check the expiration. I've caught them with stuff that's already expired. Yep.
Yeah, I have noticed that sometimes too, or they're close to expiry. But sometimes that isn't a bad thing if it's the best price.
Yeah. And Ez says her mother had her groceries delivered and the gentleman would put her ice cream in the freezer if she wasn't home. How things have changed. Yep, true.
Yeah, well, you don't, most people won't allow strangers in their house.
Yeah,
so.
that's the other thing. Lucy says Tesco delivery drivers have told me they enjoy working for the company better than minimum wage. Yeah, well, you can tell when employees are being paid well. They tend to be have more company loyalty and they tend to give you better service. Adam says, I don't get sucked into signing up to charities because there's an incredibly handsome man upselling. First-hand mistake, Adam. No, not speaking from experience, he says. Oh yeah, I see now. Currently support the National Dead Children. The dog trust and woodland trust. That was funny, Adam. Yeah. I don't believe that was a mistake. Let's see what else is here. My child, yeah, got that one. Kim says the employees get evaluated if they get the donation. At Indigo, I was called in the office for not getting a donation my first 30 minutes there. Yeah, that's something too. That's how people who work in banks too always try and upsell you on different products in the bank.
Yeah, my sister worked for a bank and she had to sell products all the time.
Yeah. So anyways, yep, that was our thing on grocery store scams. I mean, just like anything, we can't trust anybody anymore. It's sad. It's sad that the world has come to that, but there you are. So just keep that in mind next time you're buying a green pepper or a banana.
And also, if you're in a fabric store, make sure when you get home, measure how much fabric you got.
We have talked about this before because sometimes you get less than what you paid for. Now, not saying that they are doing that on purpose. Sometimes it's just a mistake, but
or somebody makes a mistake
Yeah.
when they cut it. So
yeah. But anyways, that's a story for another day, perhaps. Okay, well, thanks for joining us today for our live. And tomorrow, I'm live again at 8 a.m. Eastern Time for Monday Morning Coffee with Stephen. And lots of things to talk about there, but I can't talk to myself. Well, I can. I do it all the time. But I would rather talk with you. So if you can make it, that'll be great. Make a pot of coffee. Okay? Could be a long one. Yeah. Whatever. Okay, everybody. Have a good rest of today. Enjoy the nice weather while we still have some of it, because who knows what it'll be next week. And we'll talk to you later. See you all later. Bye.